Alright YouTube, so what's up? We're back here with another video. This time we're going to be covering the Genesis Coupe 2.0T best performance mods. To be clear, I'm not going to be discussing the multiple aftermarket turbo kits that we have available for the Genesis Coupe, but I am going to be talking about the Stub Turbo options because they are pretty much a bolt-on type of deal. So I am going to be covering that, especially because for what they're worth, they're probably the best bang for buck aftermarket part that you can buy for the 2.0T platform. So I'll be discussing the Stub Turbos provided by 3-Point Performance and Exodyne or Gen Coupe store. I'll be mentioning those Stub Turbos later down in the video. So for the BK2 2.0T guys, your guys' base horsepower is 274 crank, and for the actual drivetrain loss, it's anywhere from 24 to 20%, depending if you're auto or 6-speed. For the auto guys, you guys are around 210 to 230 wheel horsepower, and for the 6-speed guys, you guys are looking anywhere from about 225 to 245 wheel horsepower. That's more or less where you guys are going to be at when you're stock. These are some dyno charts provided by Gen Coupe store and BTR. These are the most accurate and up-to-date dyno charts that I can find for you guys. Let's go ahead and start with the 2.0T for the BK2s. So the first thing we're going to be covering, of course, is the 3-Point Performance ground kit. If you guys don't know what that is, I'll go ahead and drop a link down below for you guys to watch that video. But in summary, the Genesis Coupe is notoriously known for having bad grounds. So whenever you have bad grounds, you're going to have some sensors mess up, giving you improper calculations. So whenever you have bad grounds, usually you lose a little bit of performance. So the ground kit is pretty much to restore that performance. Moving forward, we do have the intercooler. The BK2 stock intercooler is actually good for 400 horsepower. So I don't ever really recommend you guys upgrading the intercooler unless you guys are planning to go past 400 wheel horsepower. Then I'll tell you to upgrade the intercooler to a Turbo XS one. But for the most part, the OEM intercooler and piping, it's perfectly fine. Don't even touch it. Up next, we do have the intake. So for the intake, it really doesn't matter what intake you run because, again, these are turbocharged vehicles. Turbocharged vehicles, they have an intercooler system, and the intercooler does the main job of cooling down your intake air temperatures before it hits the intake manifold. So it really doesn't matter what intake you throw on there. But of course, I'm gonna go ahead and recommend you guys the best bang for buck option, which is gonna be the OEM stock air box with the OEM air duct. Since it's free, all you would have to do is just, in my opinion, get a drop-in filter from K&M and you're good to go. But again, you can get any intake that you guys like, because I know some of you guys like the sound effects that other intakes make. So if you guys want to get an intake purely off of sound or for cosmetic reasons, then by all means go ahead, any intake will work. So up next on the list, we have the turbo back exhaust, which pretty much includes 3 main parts, which is going to be the O2 housing, then the next thing is the downpipe, and after the downpipe is the cat back exhaust. Whenever you get an exhaust system, you're going to want to make sure it's a 3-inch all the way back, and the reason why you want it to be 3-inch is so you can have the turbo breathing as much as it can. So we have the ISR O2 housing, which is $215, the ISR downpipe, which is $220, the ISR catback exhaust, which is $470, and that usually nets you anywhere from $900 to $950 for it. Or the alternative option, what I have on here is what a lot of people like, is the Exodyne turboback exhaust kit, which includes everything that I just said right now, but for $1,000. A lot of people like the tone of that exhaust. So whenever you're going out and looking for an exhaust, I really don't have a set choice on which exhaust is the best. It's just as long as it's 3-inch all the way back, that's what you need for a turbocharged system to work more efficiently. All right, so up next on our list is a Synapse BOV. That BOV is about $400. One of the only blow-up valves that works in sync with our OEM solenoid. So in other words, it's basically the fastest response blow-up valve that we have on the market for our cars that works with the OEM solenoid. You can get whatever blow-up valve you want. Again, the cheaper option will be the Exodyne blow-up valve, which is $100. You could get something like that, but a lot of the time people base their blow-up valves off of the way how they sound. A lot of the times people get the HKS or the RFL. The downside to running those blow-up valves is that you have to route it to the intake manifold and you lose your safety features with the OEM diverter valve solenoid. We do have sequel solenoids, so if you guys don't know what that is, I'll drop the link down below for you guys to watch that video. It pretty much fixes the P2261 issue, but it also restores your safety features for having a blow-off valve. Up next we have on the list is our fueling, which is E85, and the total for E85 is going to be $965. So with that being said, we will be needing our AEM E85 fuel pump, which is $150. Our E85 fuel line conversion kit, which is $240. Our ethanol content sensor gauge, which is going to be $180. Our ethanol content sensor, which is $70, and then our 1000cc modified OEM injectors, which are $325. So I want to go ahead and point something out to you guys real quick, because it's not really that known for the BK2 guys, but for you guys have high impedance injectors. So in other words, low impedance injectors will not work with your fuel system, okay? So I just want to let you guys know that, just in case if you guys try to go around it with a cheaper method, or if you want to go for bigger injectors and whenever you go for tuning day, they tell you they can't tune it or something, that's why. Of course, you're going to need your air fuel ratio gauge. Without that, you can't have your custom tuning done. Your gauge is going to be $180. What we have next on the list as well is one-step colder spark plugs, which are NGK 2309 spark plugs. Those are about $40 for the pack. And last but not least, to bring everything all together, we do have our Alpha Speed custom tuning, which is initially at $600, and then you're going to add $150 because we went with E85 as well, okay? Whenever you mess with the fueling or add methanol, it's a $150 additional fee. And I want to say there's also an injector fee, but I'm not too sure about it. You guys will have to ask the Alpha Speed dealer the day of tuning or ahead of time to figure that out. Like I said, I don't really remember. So with that being said, that pretty much concludes the BK2 2.0T build list. So total cost is anywhere from $2,850 to $3,450. That's pretty much more or less what you're gonna be spending on this build sheet right here. So pretty much for you BK2 2.0T auto guys, you guys will be running anywhere from 290 to 320 horsepower more or less. And for you 6-speed guys, anywhere from 320 to 340 horsepower. But yeah, that's pretty much it for you BK2 guys. So let's go ahead and jump down to our BK1 2.0T guys now. For BK1 2.0Ts, this is pretty sad for you guys, okay? Just letting you guys know ahead of time. I might hurt some of y'all's feelings, but y'all's base horsepower is 210 horsepower. For the auto guys, you guys are making anywhere from 160 to 170 horsepower. For the 6-speed guys, anywhere from 180 to 190 horsepower, which is it's really underwhelming for you guys. I feel bad for you guys. So for our first mod, again, it's gonna be the 3-point performance ground kit. Like I said before, it helps restore lost performance due to our grounds that are notoriously bad on our chassis. So again, I'll drop the link down below for you guys to watch the video on it. And then up next, we have our intercooler system, okay? Realistically, the best performance intercooler kit for you guys would be the Turbo XS intercooler kit. That intercooler is rated for 600 to 650 horsepower. But being realistic with you guys, we're not gonna be making that on the stock turbo. So to put it in a realistic aspect, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys the best bang for buck kit, which is the Coupe store intercooler kit, which is only $450, okay? And that intercooler kit is good for 400 to 450 horsepower. But yeah, that's gonna be the best bang for buck intercooler kit for the BK1 2.0T guys. Also, I wanna go ahead and note something for you guys. If you guys have the Mishimoto street intercooler kit, I want you guys to know that is 100% garbage, okay? That intercooler kit is known for having the same airflow as stock. So in other words, it's basically a fancy stock looking intercooler core. It doesn't flow any better than a stock intercooler. So just want to let you guys know that, okay? Because I see a lot of you guys running that intercooler and then you guys end up going for dyno runs and you guys notice that you're choking, and that's because of that intercooler, okay? So just a heads up for you guys. Up next, we do have the turbo back exhaust. Same thing as the BK2 guys. You guys are going to be wanting the 3-inch turbo back exhaust system, which is anywhere from $900 to $1,000, or with whatever exhaust you guys prefer, this 3-inch turbo back, okay? Same thing with the blow-off valve. The blow-off valve is going to be the Synapse blow-off valve. Again, that's $400. Next on our list, we have our fueling, which is E85, of course, except as you guys can see on the list right here, the E85 is a little bit more expensive, and that's solely because the injectors are a little bit more expensive, and again, that's just because of the impedance issue, okay? Well, not more of an issue, it's more of you can't use the high impedance modified BK2 injectors for the BK1s. The BK2 injectors are for high impedance applications, okay? So for the BK1s, you guys have to source out any injector you guys would like. In this one, I do have the JetWorks 1000cc injectors, which are $470. You could go with another brand like FIC or Bosch or whatever you guys would like, but more or less you want 1000cc injectors. We also have the AFR gauge. Again, you need that to do your custom tuning. That's $180. You're gonna need colder spark plugs, so NGK 2309 spark plugs, which is $40. And of course the Alpha Speed initial custom tuning, which is $600. And then for the fueling, it's an additional $150. So $750 total. After everything is all said and done, you're spending anywhere from about $3,000 to $4,000 on this setup for full bolt-ons and E85 on your stock turbo. And out of the BK1 2.0Ts, the autos, you guys are looking anywhere from 220 to 240 wheel horsepower. And for the BK1 2.0T 6 speeds, you guys are anywhere from around 255 to 275 wheel horsepower. So pretty underwhelming numbers, I know still. With that being said, there is still hope for you guys on attaining higher numbers by just adding one more part, and that is of course adding a stub turbo. So let's go ahead and talk about stub turbos. The main reason why I'm including stub turbos into this video is because one, it's pretty much a bolt-on part for the 2.0T owners, and that's because it's basically a stock frame turbo with just bigger internals. So it's really, all it really is just a direct swap with your OEM turbo, and that's it. You just need a tune and you're good to go for X amount of power more. And the other thing is because on the 3.8 video I just made for the best performance parts, I've noticed that the price difference to get where you guys are at, which is like 340 wheel horsepower, full bolt-ons, 85 and all that, which is, I think the price tag was $4,500. And then I noticed that the BK2 guys, all they're spending is $3,450 to make 320 to 340 wheel horsepower. Whenever you're using like the same like price tag, the 2.0T guys, they're spending $1,000 less than what the 3.8 guys would have to spend. So I figured if I were to have $1,000 to spend on something that can give you guys a performance boost while staying under that $1,000 mark, then I might as well include it in this video. So that's why I want to include stub turbos, because a stub turbo is relatively cheap. So for you BK2 2.0T guys, you guys have a stub turbo option from 3.8 Performance. That stub turbo runs you $775. And the best thing about the stub turbo options are the fact that you can just directly swap it with your turbo, and it's literally a bolt-on type of deal, okay? It's basically like if you're replacing a bad turbo. You take off the bad turbo and you go ahead and put on the new turbo. It's basically the same thing, except the turbo that you're putting in has bigger internals for more power. That's why a lot of people go with that option, because they don't want to mess with like extra coolant hoses or exhaust flanges and, you know, all sorts of stuff that other turbo options require you to have. And another cool thing about it is the fact that you don't have to pay an additional tuning fee for it. So originally, whenever you get a bigger turbo, you have to pay an additional $250 for that tune. But because this is basically a stock frame turbo, you don't have to pay any additional fees whatsoever. So you save yourself $250 in opposed to using like a branded turbo, which is like Arashi or Garrett or Precision. If you use any of those turbos, then you have to pay the additional fee of $250 through Alpha Speed when you go for your custom tune. So it's nice to know that you don't have to pay anything else other than at $775. And even when you pay that $775, you guys are still $200 less than what the 3.8s are spending on their platform to make 340 wheel horsepower. So with that being said, here are the gains with a stub turbo on E85 at 21 pounds of boost for the BK2 2.0T platform. So if you're a BK2 2.0T FBO E85 stub turbo, you're looking anywhere from around 350 to 400 wheel horsepower using E85 of course. And that's going to be for the 6 speeds. If you guys are autos, you guys are looking anywhere from around 330 to 360 wheel horsepower, more or less. That's pretty much it for the performance list on the 2.0Ts. So what we're going to be going into now are the supporting mods for you guys, and it's pretty much like the 3.8 guys. Firstly, starting off with the throttle body porting, which comes in at $90 from 3.8 performance. You're going to want the throttle body porting option, that way you can have a faster reaction time whenever you step on the gas. After the throttle body porting, you can also do the 3.8 performance intake manifold porting. And this is a very, very important one that I'm gonna go ahead and explain real quick to you guys. So the intake manifold porting, it's mainly gonna pertain to the BK1 intake manifold. And for the BK2 guys, you guys have a plastic intake manifold, so it's not gonna work for you guys. You guys are gonna need the BK1 intake manifold for this to work correctly. The reason why this is really, really important for you guys to get done is because the BK1 intake manifold, pretty much it has a cylinder imbalance issue, and it causes cylinders 1 and 4 to run much leaner than cylinder 2 and 3. Eventually that's gonna overall hurt the engine and lead to engine failure. So pretty much what 3.8 performance does for the intake manifold is they get the runners that have the cylinder imbalance issue going on, and they port them out to flow the same as the other runners. So that way it fixes the runner imbalance issue, thus fixing the air-fuel ratio and pretty much giving you a consistent air-fuel ratio across all cylinders. So it's very important to get it because you never want to run lean in any cylinder. It's the fastest way to ruin an engine. We have our short throw shifters. I'm going to give you guys 3 options. The 3 options are the Exodyne short throw shifter. It's pretty much like a cooler work shifter, except it doesn't have the adjustable settings as the cooler work shifter, and it doesn't have the reverse lockout feature like the cooler work shifter does. After the Exodyne shifter, we do have the cooler work shifter, which is $550. And lastly, we have the IRP shifter, which is $550 as well, but it's discontinued. And of course, if you guys don't know what a short throw shifter is used for, it's pretty much to reduce your travel time when shifting gears, okay? So in other words, it's gonna make you a bit faster when you're shifting. Next, we do have the Megan trans mounts. If you guys don't know what the Megan trans mount is used for, it's used to help any kind of lockout from happening from 2nd to 3rd gear and 4th gear. That's commonly known for happening in the Genesis Coupe transmissions. It also helps out with power transfer just a little bit, but it's mainly used for the lockout issue that we have. Up next, we have our polyfield OEM motor mounts. It's gonna run about $60 for you guys to do. And real quick, I forgot to mention the Megan trans mounts. It's gonna run you about $100. So after the polyfield OEM motor mounts, we do have our catch cans, and your catch can system is going to consist of 2 catch cans, and it's going to run you anywhere from about $50 to $200. After the catch cans, we have our fuel pump relay kit. Again, very, very important whenever you upgrade your fuel pump. I made a video on the fuel pump relay kits, so I'm going to drop a link down below for you guys to watch that video so you guys can know why you need a fuel pump relay kit for your aftermarket fuel pumps. After the fuel pump relay kit, we do have on our list the subframe shims and rigid collars, which is $120. That's pretty much to help you reduce your wheel hop and also help out with power transfer, but more or less it's mainly there to help out with the wheel hop. Next on our list, we have the diff kit, and we're gonna give you guys 2 options for the diff kits. We're gonna give you the affordable Exodyne diff kit, which is $200. And we're gonna give you the expensive option, which is the ATQ diff kit, which runs roughly $650 more or less. But overall, they both do the same job, which is decrease wheel hop and gets the power to the ground better. And last but not least is the oil temp gauge and the oil pressure gauge. So it's gonna run you around $150 to $200 to get those gauges, of course. And if you guys don't know how to read them, please watch videos on how to read them, because they could potentially save you from blowing up your engine. Pretty much gonna be it for our Genesis Coupe 2.0T best performance mod list video. If you guys found this video any helpful, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like down below, comment something that you found interesting or helped you guys out. I 100% recommend you guys sharing this video with a fellow Genesis Coupe 2.0T owner. Hopefully it's gonna help them out figure out what they want to do with their Genesis Coupe 2.0T. I also noticed that you guys like these videos a bit more, so the next video I plan on doing for you guys is a 2.0T versus a 3.8 video on which one is the better platform. That's gonna wrap it up, guys. I'll go ahead and see you guys back next week for our Genesis Coupe 2.0T versus 3.8 video.